No, they're not. No, they're not anti-Deutsche. What the hell is that guy talking about? The BSW isn't pro-Israel. They're all pro-Israel. It's just a baseline in Germany. I don't know enough about German left parties. The BSW splinter only works because they pretend to be pro-Palestine. The BSW is the pro-Putin faction of Die Linke. They also hate immigrants. Because god damn, dude, it is really f***ed up.
German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has faced off against rival candidates for his job ahead of next Sunday's elections. The occasionally fiery
hype train level 6 achieved.
Television debate covered Germany's struggling economy, migration, the Ukraine war, and energy policy. It was the first time the far-right AfD party was allowed to participate in the main debate.
With less than a week until the election, something unprecedented. Alice Weidel of the far-right Alternative for Germany, AfD, made her familiar pitch on the party's...
Get it? Why don't they do the American thing and just be like, you're a woman, lol. Or like, keep repeating that she's a lesbian. I don't get it. That's how it works. That's how it works in America. They say, oh, you f*** your way to the top. And then everyone's like, hell yeah, brother, that's right. Is tactical misogyny. Tactical deployment, tactical weaponization of misogyny against fascism. Turns out you can't do that in Germany. They kill you. MK Lambert, 23, thank you for the 25, get the subs. Charlie the Chocobo, thank you for the 5, give the subs. Also, I'm joking. I don't think that that is appropriate to do, okay? This was a joke that was to say that us Americans were f***ing stupid and backwards and barbaric. The joke is not even at the expense of Germans, but instead at the expense of, well, I guess it's not even at the expense of, but just correctly making an assessment about American politics and how backwards it is. Bro thought jokes would fly.
You're proposing we buy coal at the state's expense and then buy oil at the state's expense. Now that's what I call a plan. And then we give it to the people. Great plan. Brilliantly thought through. Really great.
Mr. Scholz, who are you actually campaigning for here?
Well, not for you, obviously.
You've betrayed your own voters.
You're evading the issue again, Ms. Weidel. You don't have a plan. We said you...
What? Is this about, like, are these debates about, like, who gets to look more cool? Is that what it is? Why is this dingus standing on the corner like, look at me, I'm so cool. I'm looking so cool, yeah. The Olaf lean? Yeah, what's that about? No, that's just Scholz. Yes, notice how I'm actually standing on the corner of the podium. And not in the middle. I'm so bad. Why don't the youth make the TikToks about me? They call it aura farming. I am und bad boy. Yeah. I am the bad boy. Look at the way I lean on the corner.
You were blowing hot air. Now there's even more hot air.
The Green lead candidate, Deputy Chancellor Robert Habeck, who has run economic policy in Scholz's government.
The debates all look absolute ass, to be honest. The problem is the personification of electioneering imported from the U.S. We aren't talking about issues anymore, just debate lording. Yeah. Have you seen the campaign the Die Linke party has been putting up online? I have not. Why won't anybody make the bold declarative statement and say, we must do the allegiance with the Chinese, yeah. We must do this. They're destroying our car market. They will dial it back big time if we do the allegiance.
German competitiveness in the last few years.
2 hours of emphasizing differences. But
Germany would never betray Japan like that.
Let's take a closer look at the debate with DW political correspondent Matthew Moore. Matthew, a pretty heated debate there last night. What stood out to you?
Well, I think what stood out was really the presence of the AfD leader, Alice Weidel. Now, this is the first time, as we heard, that a far-right leader, a leader of the AfD, the Alternative for Germany party, has been able to sit in a live studio setting with the Chancellor and with the Chancellor candidates. And what was interesting was how she kind of, under the spotlight, how the other party leaders reacted to her.
Okay, boring. Let's hear about the revitalization of Die Linke, ja!
Brought to you by Henson Shaving. Germany's once years there have been various pronouncements coming from both ends of the political spectrum that Germany's once powerful left party, or Die Linke, was dead or dying. Last year seemed to confirm the left's demise. Its former parliamentary leader split to found her own party. The left suffered disastrous results at Germany's state elections and looks set to entirely lose its already limited foothold in the German parliament at the upcoming federal election. However, with that election now less than 10 days away, the left's fortunes appear to have unexpectedly changed, and the party's enjoying a last-minute surge in membership and a rise in the polls, taking them above the crucial 5% parliamentary threshold. So in this video, we're going to
we must immediately splinter. It seems like it's time for a splinter. It seems, oh, they're above 5%. Time to do some sectarian infighting over marginal disagreements.
Explain why the left has seemingly come back from the brink, and why its resurgence could complicate Germany's post-election coalition formation.
My goat. The splinter left is anti-woke and pro-Russia. Nice.
If endless bad news is getting you down, then you might enjoy our rather silly series, TLDR's Race Across Europe, where the TLDR team competed to meet as many audience members as possible across the continent. The whole series is linked in the description. We should probably start with a bit of background on what the Left Party actually is. Well, the party was officially founded in 2007.
That last splinter was actually good. BSW, the splinter faction, are pushing pro-Putin, anti-Deutsche. They're pro-Russia, pro-Israel. How the what? And anti-immigrant. How can you be anti-Deutsche and also anti-immigration? No, they're not. No, they're not anti-Deutsche. What the hell is that guy talking about? The BSW isn't pro-Israel. They're all pro-Israel. There's just a baseline in Germany. I don't know enough about German left parties. The BSW splinter only works because they pretend to be pro-Palestine. The BSW is the pro-Putin faction of Die Linke. They also hate immigrants. They aren't anti-Deutsche, but they're anti-migrants, anti-woke, and pro-Russia. But also they're anti-Israel. What does anti-Deutsche mean? Anti-Deutsche is a faction of I don't even want to call it anti-fascist, but it is a faction of the German anti-fascist movement that is genuinely insane. I don't know how else to describe it, where they're like hyper rad libs. They're insane, like they're hyper rad libs that do the most hate crimes, if that makes sense. Like they love Israel and they do hate crimes at the behest of Israel because of how woke they are, and it's very weird. I don't know how else to describe it. Yeah, Christian Democratic Union, CDU, Christian Social Union is the center-right party, Christian Democratic Union, and its regional Bavarian sister party is the Christian Social Union, are popular with the people over the age of 60, churchgoers, and more of those living in the rural areas. Rather than the urban areas, CDU also has traditionally done well amongst the industry leaders, small business owners, and people with lower or medium education levels. No, and anti-Deutsche doesn't mean anti-Deutsche like we are, okay? Like I'm anti-Germany, okay? As like I'm against the German state because they had an opportunity to do a real revolution and be communist and they failed, okay? Like I'm anti-Germany because they killed Rosa Luxemburg. That's different. That's a very different way or very different reason to be anti-Germany, both historically and in contemporary German. Those guys are not actually anti-Germany. Yeah. The CDU was founded in West Germany in the aftermath of World War II and seeking to attract all of Germany's Christian conservative votes. CDU-CSU became the most dominant political force in the post-war era, leading the government for most of that time. They pledged to reduce corporate taxes and benefit high-income earners. On migration, the CDU/CSU stresses its commitment to the fundamental right to asylum, but the bloc wants tighter restrictions on who apply for asylum and stresses the need to deport refugees who have committed crimes in Germany. The CDU/CSU, which is funny because, like, under their leadership, the far right wing grew unimaginably. And a big part of the criticisms from the far right was basically that they were letting in every Muslim person on the planet into Germany to deliberately make Germany Islam, make Germany a pivotal part of the Islamic Caliphate or some shit. So, and then, of course, after years and years of the AfD growth and the years and years of far-right attacks, they, much like the Democrats, being the center-right party, and they are the Democrats or the center-right party of Germany, caved to the right-wing pressure. HasanAbi saying that Merkel positioned the CDU towards the center-left is wild. Wait, what? Where did those words come out of my mouth? I just said that they are a center-right party. Oh, the website says it. The CDU, CSU wants Germany to play a leading role in world affairs. The party see Europe and the United States, Germany's traditional partners, preferred coalition partner, FDP. Then you have the Social Democratic Party. Okay? The center-left. I feel like the SDP and the CDU are basically like together make up the Democratic Party, if that makes sense. Maybe I'm wrong. Like, Germans will probably yell at me, but like the SDP also is not like a left party, like a real left party at all. And they just are like more aesthetically progressive. SDP was founded in 1875, making it Germany's oldest political party. Has a lot of tumultuous history, let's say. Okay. Has traditionally been the party of the working class and trade unions. Like the CDU, it has its aging SPD, has its aging voter base. The SPD's most fertile ground. We don't know what the SPD, Social Democratic Party, would do outside of a coalition. The SPD is 100% to the left of the Dems, though. That's not saying much. I'm sorry. That's literally not saying anything, actually. Virtually every party that has any... Like, there are right-wing parties that are to the left of the Democratic Party. Like, at least in the way that they campaign. Like, the fucking Tories in the UK, under Boris Johnson, unironically campaigned on funding the NHS. They lied about it, but at least they fucking lied about it. The Democrats don't even, get there. Like, can you imagine? Anyway, the party acted as the umbrella organization for a number of leftist movements, trade unionists, and communists. But with the founding of the Communist Party of Germany, KPD, in 1919, the SPD became the permanent home of social justice reformers rather than the revolutionaries, though that didn't stop its politicians from being sent to concentration camps during the Third Reich. But of course, before they were sent to concentration camps, there's a period, there's a tumultuous period there where, maybe they were not so fond of the KPD. Anyway, Social Pimmel Party. Okay. SPD's first post-war chancellor, governed West Germany, 67 to 74. The SPD's core issue has always been social policies such as minimum wage. The SPD aims to tax the rich while easing the tax burden on low and medium earners. The other side of the Democratic Party from American sensibilities. The Agenda 2010 labor market reforms introduced by Schroeder in the early 2000s introduced welfare cuts known as Hartz IV, which toughened requirements for the unemployed, aiming them to take up a job as soon as possible and curbed. Oh my God, they're literally okay, Bill Clinton. This move split the party. SPD conservatives lauded the policy beneficial effect on job growth, while more left-leaning factions condemned it as inhumane and neoliberal. The party's traditional voters, industrial workers, and low-income earners turned their backs on the SPD. I wonder why. And the party went through a protracted identity crisis, repeatedly teaming up with the conservatives for grand coalition governments that were seen to dilute its image. Preferred coalition partner, the Green Party. Yeah, what sort of socialist party? It's like, yeah, let's cut unemployment. First of all, not a socialist party. Okay? Social Democratic Party. Very important distinction. There are, of course, still many socialist parties or socialist and name-only parties that engage in neoliberalism as well, but I would not say that this is a socialist party at all. Even though the way I see it, a lot of socialist parties have basically, like in Sweden, have become social democratic parties, and a lot of social democratic parties have become neoliberal parties. That has been the century-long transition of Western liberal politics. The reason the SDP is called that is because the name predates the split into communist parties and stuff like the SDP. Lenin was part of the Social Democrats in Russia originally, for example, and then just sticking with the old historical name. Yeah. No, I understand that. I mean, that's just like the JCP. The Japanese Communist Party is not exactly communist. I hope that much was clear from the conversation that I had with the JCP. They're not, but they kept the name. Anyway, so Green Party. The environmentalist Greens rely heavily on well-educated urban demographic for their voter base. Party strongholds tend to be major cities located. Green voters have become more affluent over the years, and Greens struggle to attract voters from lower-income classes. They gain support from young voters due to the Fridays for Future movement and general concern over the effects of climate change. The party, whose official name, Bündnis Die Grünen, translates to the Alliance 90s, the Greens grew out of an assortment of social protest movements in the 1980s that eventually unified. Their supporters marched for everything from ending nuclear power to enacting gay rights, while maintaining the key plank of environmental protection. The Green Party is deporting to Afghanistan and proud of it, yes, but they're doing that because an Afghan national in Germany is obviously impacting climate change far more severely than if they live in Afghanistan. So technically, that is the Green Initiative. Okay? Obviously, developed Western nations are unfortunately carbon producers, right? Afghanistan, on the other hand, well, you're technically not. Your impact on the climate is going to be way less severe. These are carbon neutral deportations. That was a joke. Again, for the Germans, I have to mention that because I feel like Germans especially don't understand jokes. Anyway, the party became truly prominent in German politics between 1998 and 2005. Junior coalition partner to Gerhard Schröder's SPD and supplies his government with the foreign minister Joschka Fischer. The Greens were long divided into realists who are willing to compromise. The party aims to have a say in the government, and the more left-wing fundamentalists who are closer to the party's counterculture roots. The realists have been gaining ground. Annalena Baerbock, who was the party's candidate for chancellor in 2021 general election, became the country's foreign minister for the 2025 campaign. The party is rallying around its top candidate, Robert Habeck. Platform. The Greens put an emphasis on infrastructure development and plan to finance it all through debt. They argued that debt is less of a burden in the long run than decaying infrastructure. Environmental concerns remain a central plank of the Greens' platform, ranging from the phase-out of automobile combustion engines to the expansion of renewable energy for electricity and heating. What is this? German political parties explain? I feel like, no, we've watched this before. Or maybe we haven't. But anyway, let's keep going. In terms of social policy, the Greens advocate for a mandatory minimum pension payout subsidized through an increase in tax revenue, while a new system is established into which civil servants would allow to contribute. The Greens also support an increase in the minimum wage. They want to ease the pressure on low and medium earners by raising the amount of income exempt from income tax. The difference to be made up by raising taxes for the higher earners. In terms of foreign policy, they want a tough values-based approach that more directly criticizes China and Russia for human rights abuses. Not Israel, though, which is interesting. Then you have the Free Democratic Party. I don't know. The FDP, the neoliberal pro-free market party, which is the Christian Democrats, but worse. Yeah. Also a part of the Democratic Party in America. Yeah, I'm going to talk about this guy who shot 2 Israelis thinking that they were Palestinian, and how so many of the pro-Israel accounts have been claiming that it was actually an anti-Semitic, anti-Israeli hate crime that took place, even though it was the most West Bank situation of all time. Would like to introduce a statutory equity pension based on the Swedish model rather than the prop up the current pension. ITV is a pro-European party that wants to enable skilled workers to migrate to Germany under a points system based on the Canadian model. War refugees are to be granted temporary protection status quickly with minimum bureaucracy and should return home swiftly after the relevant conflict is ended. The party is critical of Russia and China and supports Germany's partnership with the United States as a strong German role in the European Union. Left Party! Die Linke, ja! Voter base. The Left Party stronghold was traditionally in the former East Germany, mit former communists who supported the German Democratic Republic and protest voters who wanted to express their disenchantment with the traditional parties. However, many of these have switched to the populist nationalism of the AfD since 2015. Throughout, it was the Though it was the only founded in 2007, the Left Party has much longer history and is still considered a direct descendant of the Socialist Unity Party that ruled East Germany until the reunification of the West in 1990. Partly because of his association with the East German dictatorship, the left remained a pariah for other mainstream parties and has never been a part of the federal government coalition. So, wait, where is the one party that historically in Germany was on the right side of politics? Because they're talking about Die Linke being, associated with the East German dictatorship. And it's just weird because there's one party. I mean, I don't know a lot about German history. I don't know anything really about German history. What happened to, it said in the article that there was a communist party. What is it called? The Communist Party of Germany. Oh, it was banned in August 1956 by the Federal Constitutional Court of Germany. They banned it. The KPD reorganized in the western part of Germany and received 5.7% of the vote in the first Bundestag election in 1949. But at the onset of the Cold War caused the collapse in the party's support. The reputation of the party had also been damaged by the conduct of the Red Army during its occupation of Eastern Germany, which included looting, political repression, and mass rape on the orders of Joseph Stalin. The communist deputies of the Parlamentarischer Rat refused to sign West Germany's basic law, avoid recognizing the political legitimacy of West Germany. Marxist-Leninist Party of Germany was founded in 1982 by members of the Communist Workers' Union of Germany. The MLPD advocates for the establishment of a seizure of power through the proletariat, overthrowing current capitalist relations of production and replacing them with new social order of socialist orientation. It sees this as a transitional state to the creation of classless communist society. In doing so, it refers to the theory and practice of Karl Marx, Friedrich Engels, and Vladimir Lenin. It rejects the terms Stalinism and Maoism as anti-communist fighting terms that divide the Marxist-Leninist movement. While criticizing particular aspects of the political works of Stalin and Mao, the MLPD openly defends those works, standing in contrast with most left-wing groups in Germany. MLPD is like the CPUSA. I love guys like this. Anyway, yeah. Platform, the left is the only major German party that rejects military missions abroad. There you go, manipulating me with your communist Marxist propaganda tic tacs again. No, I'm not. I don't know enough about the MLPD to tell you to go vote for them. I suspect that they're probably, as the case usually with like existing hardliners, any kind of like Marxist orthodoxy is oftentimes riddled to the brim with almost cult-like motivations. I don't know anything about MLPD. I'm not saying that they are like that, but at least in my experience, there's usually a lot of weird stuff happening. I don't know anything. Like I said, I don't know anything about the MLPD. Don't forget the Communist Party of German Marxist-Leninists. An anti-revisionist party, the KPD-ML, upheld the legacy of Soviet Premier Joseph Stalin and supported China under Mao Zedong and later Albania under Enver Hoxha. After the Sino-Albanian split, RIP, at its peak in the mid-1970s, the party claimed the membership of around 800,000 or 800? No, 800. No, their flag doesn't look like shit. I think it actually kind of looks cool. But for your information, MLPD is a bunch of swinger grandpas without much influence. Yeah. Ay. The KPD-ML opposed the German Communist Party DKP, which it believed to be revisionist, and initially oriented itself around Maoism. The German peasants, the countryside surrounds the cities. The German peasants will rise up. German Maoism. I fucking love that, dude. I can't think of a single instance post-industrial revolution where Germany could have ever had like a real Maoist mobilization, but you know what? I'm not going to shit on these guys for choosing to get involved like that, okay? I really respect it. They're not even just, yeah, they're Maoist, Hoxhaist. Okay, let's get back to Die Linke. They reject military missions abroad. It also wants NATO to be dissolved and at the minimum wage to be raised dramatically. Some political scientists still see the left as a radical party that ultimately seeks to overturn the capitalist economic order, but the party itself actually only advocates for stronger market regulations, stronger rental caps, and more social investment. The left party rejects deportations, wants to dissolve the EU Border Protection Agency Frontex, and demands asylum for economic, environmental, and climate refugees. It wants to give all long-term residents the right to vote and stand for election on a federal level. It wants to lower the retirement age and introduce a solidarity minimum pension financed through tax revenue paid for by tax increases for the very rich. And then you have the Nazi Party, also known as the cucked Nazi Party because of the woke German rules that make it illegal for you to be openly the Nazi Party. So they have to they have to talk about how they are the alternative for Germany.
It has a much longer history.
Marx was authoritarian, so of course those groups became cultish. My man, what are you talking about, dude? Did he authoritatively take a shower once every couple of months? Is that what you're saying? Like, what do you mean? As an anarchist, you must respect Karl Marx for being closer to you in his hygiene practices than someone like myself. Okay? I don't understand. Anyway, let's continue.
Considered to be the democratic descendant of the Socialist Unity Party, or SED, that ruled East Germany prior to reunification in 1990. Generally considered to be far left to left wing, the Populist Party's traditional stronghold has been the former East, where it was most established and garnered support from left-behind voters, and where it has been the head of, or at least a junior partner, in various state-level governments. Now, we'll keep this story brief, but the left suffered decline throughout the 2010s, particularly as it was displaced in East Germany by the far-right AfD. Rudderlessness and infighting in the left party culminated in a public split, with ex-parliamentary leader Sarah Wagenknecht founding her own eponymous party in 2024, which could have been the nail in the coffin for the left party. But
apparently they splintered because while Sarah herself is left-wing on economic issues such as social justice, job security, and higher wages, and it wants to revamp Germany's tax system, they are close to the far right on issues like immigration and gender diversity and climate policy, opposing a shift towards renewable energy, including electric vehicles. How does that happen? The BSW is critical of sending weapons to Ukraine and its supporters in the Russia-Ukraine war and blames NATO for escalating the conflict. In reference to the Israel-Hamas war, Wagenknecht could be described the Gaza Strip as an open-air prison. I don't understand that party. It makes no sense to me. I think that it's perfectly understandable that left groups splinter all the time because left politics in an obviously capitalist organization of the economy and the, and politics is inevitably going to get a lot of cranks. This community itself is sometimes filled to the brim with cranks as well. I usually try to actively push the cranks away to the best of my ability. But of course, there's always going to be fucking insane people in left movements because left movements are outside of the neat little confines of permissible politics under neoliberal rule. So there's going to be a lot of people who are simply anti-establishment, right? I think they're the only pro-Palestine party in Germany. The best way to understand them is their connection to workers in industrial jobs like ICE cars, internal combustion engine cars, in East Germany.
Has the party actually turned a corner? Well, it certainly looks possible. Since the beginning of 2025, more than 23,000 people have joined the Left Party, pushing its total membership beyond 81,000, beating its 2009 record. Obviously, this suggests that the party is anything but dead, something that's also backed up by its polling. The party was polling at around 3% at the start of the year, but it has risen as the election draws nearer, with it hitting as high as 6% in the most recent round of polls at the time of writing, even overtaking the relatively new populist left conservative Sarah Wagenknecht Alliance, or BSW, whose support has fallen from its highs last year of around 9 to 10%. So what has the left's strategy been to fuel this apparent comeback? Well, for starters, with the goal of winning over frustrated left-of-centre voters, the left has attacked the unpopular SPD and Greens, accusing them of failing to combat the country's cost of living crisis during their time in office. As such, the party has put...
As of today, they're 9%, which is, It's a rapid expansion for sure.
But economic security, affordability, and redistribution at the front and centre of its election platform, calling for the scrapping of VAT on basic foodstuffs and a wealth tax to combat inequality, to name but a few policies. But that's not been the party's only notable pitch. The Left Party has also pitched itself as a bulwark against the country's apparent rightward political shift. For instance, on Give, quote, "not an inch for the fascists." In fact, it's perhaps this factor that's been the greatest boon for the left, which has managed to capitalise on recent political events. In late January, the conservative CDU-CSU was able to narrowly pass a parliamentary motion urging for a crackdown on migration thanks to the votes of the AfD. This sparked a political firestorm, as, for the first time, it marked an undermining of the firewall around the AfD, which saw mainstream parties refuse to cooperate with the far-right party. While opposition to the CDU-CSU breaking that taboo came from many sides, including from within the CDU, as well as from the SPD and Greens, perhaps the most powerful and far-reaching condemnation came from the Left Party's joint lead candidate, Heidi Reicheneck. Her fiery speech aimed at CDU leader Friedrich Merz went viral, racking up more than 6 million views on Reicheneck's TikTok alone, and a total estimated 30 million across various platforms. In fact, it was actually on the day of the vote and Reicheneck's speech, January 29th, that the left saw its largest surge in new members. This forms part of what looks like a pretty strong online strategy from the left, which is likely to help the party with younger voters. In fact, the average age of the party's new sign-ups.
You call everybody a crank, but refuse to acknowledge the fact that my Splinter Discord is leading the vanguard. We are 11 members strong, and we hold nightly debate nights and hourly privileged confessions. Now, to be fair, 9 of the members are bots I programmed, and the 100 member is my alt account that isn't banned in Discord, but this doesn't take away from the work we are doing. True. That's right.
Is 28, and they lean 53% female too. One recent poll shows the left as the joint most popular party, with the Greens, among 18 to 29-year-olds, with 19% support, a massive improvement on the 8% support that they got from that cohort in the 2021 election. The party has doubtless benefited from new leadership too, having replaced its previous co-chairs last year with Jan van Aken and Ines Schwertner, and drafting Heidi Reicheneck to be the new co-lead candidate with Van Aken. They are also hoping to recapture some of their traditional Eastern heartlands by standing 3 veteran left politicians as part of the so-called Mission Silverlocks, a tongue-in-cheek reference to the 3 men's average age of 70. The mission's dual purpose is to win 3 constituency seats, which means that even if the party falls below the 5% threshold, it would still be awarded seats corresponding to their vote share. Now, it's worth doing a bit of a reality check here. We've obviously been talking a lot about the relative resurgence of the left, not the kind of dramatic swing that would see it surge to a podium position. Even securing the 6% that they're currently polling would still not be a fantastic result for the left by historic standards. So it might seem that this is sort of an irrelevant story, but that's not the case. Firstly, it will be higher than the party's 2021 result and a rapid improvement on the past year's polling, demonstrating just how quickly electoral trends can change. Secondly, the momentum that the party is enjoying right now could be carried through to the next parliamentary term, especially if strong communicators like Reicheneck are returned to parliament. Although its newfound optimism cannot forever mask the persisting political rifts of the party, for example over Israel-Palestine. Finally, the left, or indeed other smaller parties winning parliamentary representation, will impact the forming of the next government. If none of the 3 smaller parties, the left, BSW and FDP, make it into parliament, then the currently first-place CDU would likely be able to form their favoured option, a 2-party coalition with either the centre-left SPD or Greens. However, if 2 or 3 of the smaller parties secure representation, then it may force the CDU to form a 3-party coalition. This is considered by the CDU to be far less desirable, as it would weaken their leverage and would come with the kind of inevitable infighting that's plagued the now collapsed 3-party coalition led by Olaf Scholz. So the performance of the left and its fellow smaller parties should indeed be closely watched, because their success could be supremely irritating for the CDU's plans. Although irritation is something all too familiar for anyone who shaves regularly. In fact, lots of people actively don't.
Wait, is the rest of this? Oh my God, that's crazy. Young German and voting far right.
Germany is heading to the polls. The stakes couldn't be higher. And under-30s could hold all the power as this snap election, called after the collapse of the coalition, comes to a head. I'm travelling across Germany to find out more about what's driving young voters in their droves to support the country's far right. From the party's staunchest supporters,
they came and spray stuff like Nazi and so on,
to those terrified of what this could bring.
And the last time that we saw it was in 1933.
And others who are looking to be heard.
If you don't inherit the wealth of your, filthy rich parents, then you're probably not gonna ever have the chance to buy an apartment or something.
Controversial issues are dividing this country.
If you don't like our country, then go home.
And the whole thing is playing out.
Bro, they always, why do hogs look the same? They got that same fucking, I don't understand it. They just literally always look the same. What the fuck? What is that? What is about your personal politics that when you go reactionary, you just end up looking a certain way? It does not make any sense. I don't understand it. Hold on. Let me try to stop mocking them. It's called the universally applicable aesthetic. It's just brain rot. So why does brain rot also change the way you look too? It doesn't make sense. Oh, fuck. It's not working. God damn it. I thought I could potentially try to fix the camera again, but it's not. It's not even. Okay. Well, we're still
on social media.
The alternative for one and only alternative for our country. Our last option.
So you're doing the right thing, is what I'm saying.
Even bringing violence to the streets. This is young, German, and voting far right. In November 2024, Germany's traffic light coalition, made up of 3 parties, fell apart. When the leader of one of the parties, the FDP, disagreed on the future of the German economy. Enter the AfD.
The fucking Tea Party caucus, Tea Party style, Democrat Tea Party style, terrorist lover. I saw the proof. I just saw the proof. I waited 10 minutes to say it, and trust me, I like your uncle a bit, but you are not even funny. What a joke you are. Okay, that's a little contradictory, don't you think? I'm a joke, but I'm not a funny one, I guess. Maybe I'm an unfunny joke. You are shit for this world. Keep getting that money, freak. Leave the world alone. You are poison, really, I swear. Racist? Fascist punk? Yeah, replay this with you shit mouth. It's true, bro. I don't care about any specific whatever. And bro, you make people hate. Trust. F you. Hasan, take it easy. Your mind is middle, or try to be. We all need to take 2 hours shit once in a while. Leave the evil nonsense alone. Don't answer. Shut up, idiots. Ban all handguns. We need military law. Hillary fan here. Kappa. Trump 2020. Donald 2020. This is a joke, lol. George Bush 2020. Kappa. Bush 2020. Knut. Trump hot. This guy had such a good nature about him and is now so angry. Knut 2020. Buck Cerny Fanders. Buck Fernie. Buck Fernie. Buck Fernie. Buck Cerny Fanders. You know he's a German chatter because he can't even say fuck CNN. Bro thinks he'll go to jail. Yeah. Okay. I love this guy. I love this chatter. This is one of my new one of my new favorite chatters. I wish I had such whimsy in my life. Yeah. I'm angry, but not even entirely certain as to why I'm so angry right now. You are terrorist lover. I saw all the proof I need. I like your uncle a bit. He's got the reason about the crime growing and the immigration. Uncle. I like your uncle. Well, I waited 10 minutes to say it. He's back to the Kappas. He's back to the Kappas. I love this because he did. This banger that he put forth, he waited 10 minutes to write this. Uncle! Oh, this is awesome. All right. Please don't ever leave. space_destroyer. I like this man. Keep him to observe. Yes, we will keep him. I will never ban him. Who are you voting for? Space destroyer. Sorry, bro. GG. Space destroyer, who are you voting for? Quick, tell me. Please, don't leave. Tell me who you're voting for. I don't care. The People Party. You have to have an opinion. No one never voted. What? Breaking, I interviewed Hamas. Motherfucker, you have no emotion. Look what this man did. Jesus Christ, dude. I still think he's a federal agent. How old are you? I'm 25. Never voted. Only when I was 18. Yo! So you just don't care about politics? Wait, if you don't care about politics, how the fuck do you find yourself in this community of all communities? Like, even in the past, like around, I guess the American elections was interesting enough for him. I love when we find a new guy. This is definitely a guy that is new. Also, yeah, I don't care about politics. I've never voted. I have no political opinions. Also, you're a terrorist lover is the perfect distillation of like what most people who call me a terrorist lover or a terrorist lover, like what their political understanding of the world is. That is perfect. Like that's exactly what it is for the most part. It's like people that come in here and it's like, I actually don't have any opinions at all. I'm alone, got no life. Wait, Hasan, I'm not stupid. Oh, don't say that, man. You're not alone. That makes me sad. Okay, now I feel bad that okay, well, chatter, I am not the bad person that you think I am, but, you know, but let's make peace. Let's make the peace. Okay, I'm back in. All right, let's continue with this.
The right political party, led by Alice Weidel, was formed back in 2013 and has adopted a
Be nicer to people, chatter. It'll make it easier for you to make friends.
Platform based on German nationalism with specific concerns over immigration. Its name, the Alternative for Deutschland, is exactly what the party wants to do. Set itself apart as an alternative.
You see, he called you a racist fascist punk, so he's not really into politics. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the point, isn't it? Yes. When you think I am a racist fascist punk, then yeah, you probably don't know anything about politics.
To what it calls the political elites. And it's working. In last year's European elections, the AfD became the most popular party amongst young Germans, with almost a third voting far right in some parts of eastern Germany. First-time voters are going to have a big impact on this election, and there are almost 2.5 million of them across Germany. And the AfD are running with it, using TikTok to pull Gen Z voters from their traditional left to the right. Videos from the party are being watched by 3 times more people than any of the other political parties combined. And big names like Elon Musk are publicly backing the party, bringing them a global attention. I started my journey in Germany's capital, Berlin. Renowned globally for its unique nightlife, divided history, and multicultural...
That's crazy. Look.
Renowned globally for its unique nightlife, divided history...
That's a Galatasaray scarf. That's a Turkish man right there.
...and multicultural communities. It's here where back in 2015, then-Chancellor Angela Merkel welcomed almost 1 million migrants from Syria, in an act largely applauded at home and around the world. Politically, this place has always been pretty liberal, despite being in the heart of East Germany, a former Soviet bloc and once cut off.
So a fascist is promoting a fascist party in Germany? Okay, wait, what? Oh, you're talking about Elon Musk. I thought you were talking about me. I'm not promoting me.
It's often felt forgotten, and that's what the AfD is hoping to capitalise on.
Martin. Hi. George. Nice to meet you.
Hi, George. Nice to meet you.
Okay.
I'm meeting Martin. He's 27 and chairs his local branch of the Young Alternative.
I recognise her. Yeah.
The former youth organisation of the AfD that was recently dropped. The German government branded them. It said they broke ties to restructure their party.
The shops are...
But despite that, Martin is still campaigning for the AfD. I'm meeting him in the affluent neighbourhood of Charlottenburg. Oh, and he's also brought along his uncle.
What's it like being a young...
Another uncle, but a good one, yeah.
...politician in somewhere like Berlin that's been seen as, you know, kind of more to the left than the right. Is that hard sometimes?
Back in the days, yes, sometimes, because we have a strong Antifa groups here in Berlin, so they attacked us many times. There are some middle fingers, but
which is a crime in Germany, which is a crime in Deutschland, I'll have you know. And I got them arrested. They kept calling me German Rittenhouse. They kept saying, Kyle, my name is not Kyle, it's Hans. It was very messed up, yeah.
Something shout stuff like fascists or something else. They came and spray.
Yeah, his name, mein Name ist Rudolf, after the reindeer, because I also have the rot nose. Yeah.
Stuff like Nazi and so on.
Were you scared by when that was happening? Were you scared after that? Were you scared to go out and campaign?
You want to keep in mind that you are fighting for a good reason, so it's you push it away. So okay. Something like this. Dankeschön.
And there might be topics like migration. It's a topic that people disagree on a lot. Do you understand why some people who do disagree with AfD stance, how they feel?
Sometimes people say young people and also gay people are more left and green, but not in Germany, not today. And they are really
I'm very gay and I love the AfD.
Conservative, they are patriotic and they vote for AfD. I have 2 friends, they are gay, and they lived many years in Neukölln, a part of Berlin with many Turkish people and people from other Muslim countries. And they had problems when they go over the street holding hands, and that's a problem, of course, for them.
Martin's been creating social videos since standing to be a politician. His styles help build a big following.
We do something different in...
Yeah, he's woke, okay? You see, he wants the Turks out because they're not woke. But also, he's not woke. And neither is the AfD. So how does that work? Again, racists love talking about the bigotry of brown people as a negative, while simultaneously they're like, yeah, we want to make sure the bigotry, the homophobia, and all the other hatred is kept in the hands of the Germans, right? We don't like it. We don't like it when the Muslim, when the Islamofascism is doing the homophobia. Or we like it ourselves. We will keep it for ourselves, for the folk.
Social media than the other parties. Our first topic is to be authentic in social media because we don't do like TikTok dances or something else what other politicians do. We only talk to the people, especially young people, in normal ways.
It's not just your traditional TikTok videos that the AfD's messaging is being pushed on. Music is also a huge way to reach these young voters. With track from Italian DJ Gigi Agostino being adopted by the far right. And it's not the only music to do so. Cavalier's 22. His music's been removed from some streaming services for hate speech. Tracks like Doocy Doocy.
Oh my God, bro, they have their own 4G auto blow. Oh my God. Yes, mein Vater owns the automobile dealership down the street in Kreuzberg, yeah. And I use all the monies to make sure I make the video.
And Alpshiba Hotmeister have built him a big following from other pro-AfDers, with videos racking up millions of views.
Yes, ja, mein Name ist 4G Autobahn.
What sort of topics are those forbidden topics that you cover in your music?
Yeah, talking about the big European problem, in my opinion, like migration, and also topics like the LGBTQ. Yeah. Not, I wouldn't say problem, but there's like a lot of things going on with those LGBTQ LGBTQ scene, clubs. So there's a lot of framing on this topic from the media, like LGBTQ. It's okay to be woke and to be gay. I mean, it's okay to be like this, but not the media framing like 24/7 to say, be like this.
This gotta be a big Asmongold fan, dude. Yes, as doing the gay stuff in the clubs, the gay clubs, the LGBT clubs, yeah. Not good, yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Every time I go, they're so sexy. All the men, they're so sexy. My lips get red from the sucking. I can't stop the kissing. I'm always kissing and kissing and kissing. I hate it. I hate the woke and the gay.
Or if you don't like that, you're an or something like this.
So shall we have a look at some of your music?
Yeah.
And then you can talk us through what you're discussing. What should we go for? Doozy Doozy?
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah. Doozy is the name of the remigration plane. Go into the plane and then goodbye. Okay. We don't need you here. Yes.
Why is he dressed like that? Bro, have you heard all the Wallo-Mont in Germany? It's an app that will ask you a series of questions about 38. Depending on our answers, it will tell you which party aligns more with your views. I gave it to one of them and they turned out leftist. I have not
this is
heard
about
of this
deportation,
app.
essentially?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
We're talking about like stuff like stop with like Walla speaking. Yes. Stop with like smoking shisha everywhere. Yeah.
Bro, this dude is 22 years old and his racism is like, he's like racist in the same way that like a 70-year-old German guy would be. Stop with the Walla speaking und the shisha. Stop with the Döner, please. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, he's 22, by the way. Chatters. Kein Shisha, bitte.
Yeah. A typical stereotype for like Arabic guys.
Do you understand some people might be upset if they're gay or they're from a migrant community about some of the things that you discuss? Is that kind of, I mean, how do you feel about that?
Gay community or like left-wing community, they are always anti to everything what we do because we don't have anything common. I don't think this.
Despite those showing the strongest support for Germany's far right, not all young people have decided who they're backing. This is the centre of Berlin, where a stretch of the Berlin Wall once cut the capital in half. I'm meeting Simon and his friends for a night of stand-up comedy.
Good to meet you all.
How does stand-up comedy in Germany work? I feel like, no disrespect, but I feel like Germans are not particularly and intentionally funny people. You wish you were as coherent as this dude? Facts.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Hello, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Simon's big on TikTok, posting videos aimed at other Gen Z voters about the election and politics in Germany.
Shall we go in?
Is he a lib?
Follow me.
Do you know how you're all going to vote? Or are you still undecided?
You really have to convince people to vote in order to stop something you don't want to happen. It feels like there's a lack of...
I feel like a lot of German progressives are just straight up libs, right?
Voting for something because you believe in it.
I don't know, like it's very difficult, and that's I think a big problem in Germany.
What sort of issues do you care about? What things are important to you at the moment?
I think the most important thing for me, and I think also for a lot of young people, is social inequality. I think most, if not all, young people feel that the upward social mobility is basically you can study as
EU is very left in general. Come on, brother. No, they're not very left in general. They're very lib in general. Many European Union politics is so insanely slanted to the lib center, which is part of the reason why there's a massive resurgence of far-right politics now.
As long as you want, and if you don't inherit the wealth of your filthy rich parents, then you're probably not gonna ever have the chance to buy an apartment or something.
Oh, sorry. When I'm talking about lib, I mean like liberal from the American perspective. I don't mean liberal and like European. The European left is like American liberals.
It's not an issue that we're scared of immigration, really, but scared for our friends. Because
America is pretty much 70% left, right? Yeah, totally.
What sort of experiences?
We're such a fucking famous. We're famously very leftist in this country. Our left party wanted to do, like 30% less deportations. So that's the best position you can get to.
If your friends had bad experiences in the run-up to the election?
They had a sticker in their house with remigration, like in their area everywhere, and just like talking badly to them because they don't speak German that well. Stuff like that happens all the time.
And it's people that have been here for generations and just have like a last name that doesn't sound German or don't look German, and those are the ones that all the anger is directed towards, which is so unjustified. Yeah.
They feel this chaos and they can't really place it. And then the AfD swoops in on TikTok and tells them, it's the foreigners, it's the feminists, it's the it's the communists, it's the people in Berlin, the people up there that caused this. And this might swing young people.
How is the European left like the American liberals, or did I mishear you? No, I'm saying that a lot of the European progressives, a lot of the European progressive youth they have a lot of American liberal style tendencies, especially when it comes to European, like Europe foreign policy, or even now. I mean, I guess like maybe not on attitudes of immigration. They're like Ezra Klein style liberals. Yeah.
In one, in one direction. I totally get why someone who maybe is not living in central Berlin or in Munich or whatever.
You view everything from the lens of America. It's not about America. Yeah, because I'm an American. And my audience is mostly Americans. I'm trying to explain to Americans what European politics resembles. Also, make no mistake, do you think I have this false notion that America is in any way, shape, or form progressive or left-leaning? Hello? What left alternative is there in the United States of America? Like, I spend probably 6 out of the 8 hours of the day shitting on every fucking facet of American politics. The one time I turn around and say, yeah, a lot of Euro style, like a lot of Euro left is also kind of like liberal adjacent on many key issues. And everybody goes, oh, well, what about your country, huh? Ha, ha, ha. I got you good, yeah. You don't know, stupid American pig. I know, dude. I know. We don't even have healthcare. They'll kill you if you advocate to fucking raise the minimum wage. What do you mean?
Why they're just like, maybe screw all this, I'm not voting. Or who are feeling, I just want to give the biggest middle finger I can give to the ones up there, to the elites. Yeah. And the AfD is coming to them and they're saying, I'm your middle finger. Vote for me and I'm sticking the finger to all of them. And I can totally understand why someone would feel like that.
What was the reaction when you found out there was going to be a general election? Were you like freaking out with all that?
When the news broke and the German government fell apart, we were at the opera. And
I think it was also the same day that Donald Trump was re-elected.
Yeah, it's a big day. And before the opera started, I was like, on which break do you think the government is going to fall apart? And then the second one it did.
One of these AfD guys came to my door to give me a flyer. I opened the door, he saw my face, and he left. You made it! Well done.
Before we leave for the night, I've still got one more question for Simon. Are you and your friends being served a lot of political content, whether it's ads from parties or speeches from certain leaders? I mean, is that a big thing that you're exposed to on TikTok?
Yeah, I mean, TikTok has been disregarded by by most of German politicians and parties until I would say around about a year ago. But the far-right party, the AfD, they have been doing TikTok on a very high level for years, and they have a head start that is unimaginable. They have more followers than all other parties combined. If you create a new account, how much content by the far-right party, by the AfD, and by its politicians, how much content you see compared to how much content by more left-leaning parties you see. You can't really escape it.
One of those who's been instrumental in the success of the AFD on socials is Eric Achens. He claims to have developed the way they make their content so good.
To have an impact, you can't just be a regular politician who talks about politics. You cannot just post your parliamentary speeches and, you know, talk about the economy or whatever.
Ugh.
You need to be a real world person, someone from the streets. And this is how we, and at the same time though, larger than life. So you need to be a social media star, basically. You need to be real and approachable. And at the same time, you need to be larger than life. And we are living in revolutionary times, and social media is changing everything and the way media works.
And with a young leader like Alice Weidel, who's also an engaging speaker, it's no wonder that AFD's videos do so well.
Alice Weidel, the head of the AFD, she has a real fandom around her. Like, there are a lot of people who are fans of her, and it's like a people cult, like a fandom around one person, one politician, and that.
Bro, how is, like, come on. Donald Trump at least is literally a TV star, okay? And he's unironically very telegenic. He's zesty as fuck. He's very telegenic. Like, Germans look at an accountant wearing a turtleneck and go, oh mein Gott, ich kann nicht glauben, this is the greatest television star, she's beautiful. Oh mein God. How can you develop a cult around this, dude? How is that even possible? I genuinely don't get it. She looks like the lady that did Theranos. The one that fucking changed her voice, Elizabeth Holmes. Like, what is this? Your job is the exact opposite, but yet the exact same aesthetically. Don't pretend that's not exactly your job too. Maybe some more political thought and a longer consistent format on the opposing side, but you're the same. I'm confused as to what you're saying. But if you're saying, like, yes, make politics more approachable and more palatable in the most reductive terms, that is what my job is. She has more riz than most people in the Bundestag. Have you seen Scholz? Yeah, I have. He is the bad boy. He is known as the bad boy of the Bundestag. Did you not see him standing in the corner of the podium? He is a bad boy.
That's very unique because there is no other politician in Germany at that moment who has a fan base like that, like creating videos. The algorithm of the platform works for like polarizing, populist speeches very well.
These videos are having a real-life impact. I'm heading 200 miles south to Erfurt, the
Do you realize that Germans are watching you and you are doing the accent? Yes. Because I realize that Germans are watching me and they're thinking in that accent. And when they speak English to their mobile phones or the desktop monitor, yeah, they sound exactly like this. They're like, Hasan, that is not how I sound. Why?
Capital city of the German state of Thüringen. Thüringen has always been a right-wing stronghold. After all, it's where the Nazis first entered regional power in 1929. In 1935, Adolf Hitler staged a mass rally here that was attended by 75,000 people. Today, the regional branch is led by Björn Höcke, a controversial figure who was found guilty and fined for using a Nazi slogan on 2 separate occasions. The regional government now classes the Thüringen branch of the AFD as a far-right extremist group. I'm meeting Azra, Kim and Helene. They're second-generation immigrants who are watching the place they call home
they gotta be woke.
Become more hostile. The girls are German and have lived in the area for most of their life.
Was Höcke the one that was the German teacher who, like, denied the Holocaust, or was that a different AFD guy? Or was he also one of the AFD guys that also denied the Holocaust? The answer, yes, doesn't really whittle it down. Yeah, oh, he's the history teacher. Okay, oh, that's the one. Yeah, he's the worst one, right? Out of all the AFD guys, he's literally, like, the most annoying one who's like, oh, I didn't mean that. By German law, you can officially call him a Nazi without going to jail. Yeah, that's a cool guy to have. as like the most prominent figure in your party, as you basically substitute him with a symbolic figurehead that does slam dunks on TikToks and SJW owned compilations, who is a lesbian woman who lives in Switzerland with a Sri Lankan wife, so that you can be like, what do you mean? AFC is not racist. I mean, look at my lesbian. Meanwhile, the other guy is literally doing Hitler speeches in German, in the original German. She said, I'm not queer, I just live with a woman. That's awesome.
But are increasingly getting scared about their safety.
I came to Erfurt with my family and we just went shopping and we were talking in Turkish to each other and someone behind us said, scheiß Ausländer. And this is something which I still, which is still in my head and which I can't just forget. And what's hurting them, this is my home, this is what I know, and I'm not foreign here, even if I maybe look that way, but...
So what's that like when someone basically makes you feel like you're not German? And
the song that they were playing, the reason why it got popular for the AFD crowd is because they sing lyrics to it. And the lyrics associated with it is what is it, like Ausländer aus, right? Like foreigners out, or like foreigners out, Germany for Germans, foreigners out. That's what they sing at the protests as well. Like they briefly showed it without really explaining it. But yeah, immigrants out. Immigrants out, Germany for Germans, immigrants out, which is straight up a fucking Nazi, a Nazi take. Now, the reason why I say this for Germany specifically is the same reason why, for example, the AFD is very careful about its language. They specifically don't say deportation. They don't use the term deportation. They use the term remigration. The reason why they use the term remigration as opposed to deportation is because deportation is the Nazi policy. So considering that they're in Germany and a lot of that stuff is either directly illegal or reminds people of Nazi policy, that they have to do this like very funny song and dance around it. Yeah, libtard Hitler shit. Exactly. They're woke Hitler. They rebranded deportations.
You're German, you've lived here your whole life.
Yeah, I mean, it's putting me into another identity crisis somehow.
Right now in the election, we have people on the top who are praising to taking away the citizenship of people. And the last time that we saw it was in 1933.
When you hear words like remigration used, when you hear politicians on the right talk about immigrants in ways that, you know, a lot of people would find upsetting, how does that make you feel when you I don't know, you're on TikTok, you're on social media, you see these sorts of videos, you hear people use these words?
It makes me angry. Of course I'm asking myself, okay, my mom doesn't have a German passport, what can happen, or things like this. Of course I get these things into my mind, but it's making me sad that the politicians nowadays are mainly focused on this topic, migration, like as if we would not have any other problems. And all the problems we have is because of the people which are trying to survive, to come to Europe. And this is what I will never understand.
I want to show you a video. So this is from a rapper called Cavalier.
Here, what do you think about this hate crime rapper? That's so funny. Hey, I want to show you this hate crime rapper that says you ain't shit and you should be killed and remigrated.
Yeah.
His name, Foji Autobahn. But you know shit as fuck when one of the popular German parties has to use a thesaurus to avoid sounding like they're copy-pasting their speeches from Mein Kampf. Yeah. But also not changing the language that much. You know what I mean? That'd be really funny if he showed them not the fucking 22-year-old German idiot and instead showed them Tom McDonald. What do you think about this guy?
And I just want to get your reactions.
How many views does this have?
Almost a million.
Almost a million. Oh, that's so scary.
It's scary that people can take this serious.
Is Germany a place that you'd want to stay living in?
I mean,
yes, we're fighting together.
Yeah,
I think it's a question we should talk about.
I learned about that Türkmen was a far-right nationalist thing until my Turkish friend heard it and had to tell me. Thanks for that. I literally told you guys that Turkish trap song that I play is like an insanely racist, far-right ultra-nationalist song. I play it to make fun of it all the time.
So I think.
Wait, what did he ask
Living
them?
in?
Wait, did he play the racist song and then went, "You still want to live here?" He's like, "Why don't you just get out on your own? Why don't you just do remigration? You know, before they get to you and force you to remigrate the old German way." That's
we're
crazy.
I think it's a question we should talk about. So I think it's more about because this should not the answer to leave. It should the answer to find a solution for humanity. I guess
this is our home. Like we were born here. We lived a big part or almost our whole life here, and I don't know, like, why should I leave my home, or where should I go?
I've come to the city of Potsdam, where one of the AfD's last pre-election events is taking place, just 2 weeks before the big day. But the counter-protests have already begun. Here, hundreds are gathering to openly show their support for the party, something that would have seemed unimaginable just 5 years ago. Backing the far right is no longer taboo.
The square in the middle of Potsdam where the rally is taking place, and it's kind of an unusual feel for a political event because it's a bit like a party. There's lots of loud music, lots of dancing, and unusually for an event like this, I guess, lots of young faces, and a lot of them are right behind me.
See, yeah, they're playing the...
Migration ist das Wichtigste, weil schon seit Jahrzehnten die Geburtenrate.
Kind of crazy. This is in the former East Germany. It's not that crazy at all. It is the same principle that I maintain all the fucking time, which is that when you don't actually develop areas and you basically leave them behind, and there is insane economic inequality, that creates a perfect opportunity for radicalization. That's all this is. Like, fuck you mean German birth rates drop, bro? Look at you. You're the reason. You're unfuckable, Hans. Look at you. You're fucking gross. Anyway, listen, my point is, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense for an area like East Germany. An area like East Germany that even after reunification did not like adequately develop to basically create this perfect environment, this perfect volatility that causes causes people to be hostile to liberalism and react in this way. East Germany was bought up by rich West Germans, and they don't pay taxes. East Germany, so many are still poor as the areas were never developed at the same pace. Yeah. West Germany destroyed the GDR industry. Young people went away. Nazis went to the XDR and used the socioeconomic hole. Same old fascist playbook. It's funny to see German Nazis because they just all look like Richard Spencer. They straight up look the part.
In Deutschland so niedrig ist, dass wir Deutsche immer weniger werden. Unsere Regierung versucht das auszugleichen, indem sie sich kulturfremde Ausländer nach Deutschland.
Yeah, culturally clueless foreigners who don't respect the endless bounty of German culture.
Importieren. Und das ist aber keine Lösung.
Dass ich mich auf der Straße wieder frei rumlaufen kann, nicht Angst haben muss, dass ich mit Messer bedroht werde oder vergewaltigt werde.
Yeah. I would like to be exclusively raped by Germans, please. I do not I do not like to be fearful of the concept of migrant sexual assaults. I would like the folk to be able to do the sexual assaults instead. Like, what kind of fucking attitude is this? What kind of statement is this?
Aufgrund der migrationspolitischen Themen, also das ist für mich sehr wichtig, dass man zum Beispiel auch in den Nachrichten andauernd sieht, die ganzen Terrorangriffe und alles. Es muss ein Ende haben.
Außerdem geht es ja auch primär darum, die Ausländer rauszuschicken, die kriminell sind, die sich hier nicht integrieren wollen.
Ich meine, für einen Auszubildenden bin ich ein gut verdienender Auszubildender, aber ich kann mir keine Wohnung leisten, weil die Migrationspolitik da am Weg.
Migration is the reason why I can't have good rent. Because all the migrants, all the first gen, second generation immigrants are landlords, famously.
Ich zahle mich dumm und dämlich für eine scheiß Wohnung.
Jetzt geht's gar nicht.
Just a day after the rally, hundreds of thousands of Germans marched in cities across the country.
EU racists believe this? It's literally what American racists also believe. They unironically think that their rents are going to go down if there's mass deportations because they're fucking stupid. Their anger and frustration is valid if it's directed towards the actual financial problems that they're experiencing. The issue is there aren't that many active or popular parties, or at least in America, there isn't really any party that actively addresses those problems and offers solutions. So guys like this come around and they're like, yeah, your rent is fucked up, isn't it? Yeah, it's because of the kebab shops. That's what it is. It's because of the migrants. How long have you had issues with your recording device? Ashish? What? What issues do I have? It's fine. Am I crazy? Does it look different on screen or something? Like, I don't understand. Yeah, the camera is like, yeah, the frame rate is bad. I know the frame rate is bad. It looks weirdly pixelated when the cam is small. Wait, does it? Is the camera overheating? Wait, well, let me see. Just with the quality on 1080p by 60. Oh, it does look like there's like a weird artifacting happening. It's like too sharp. I mean, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. I think you guys are exaggerating. I can't fix the camera because I can't access the program that tethers the camera to my computer. It just like doesn't work for some fucking reason. So in order for me to change the settings of the camera, I would have to manually do it on stream. And that's going to be incredibly complicated. I don't know why it says connect Lumix to the PC. It just like doesn't even read it. It doesn't even read that the camera's connected to the PC, which is odd. Oh, wait, it worked. But I can't use the other. Yeah, the other camera doesn't even read. It basically doesn't exist. It's only the second camera that actually, it only reads the second camera. I'm going to fix it after stream. You probably can't pull info because of OBS, right? No, that's not the reason. Not trying to be an obnoxious chatter, but as a hostile editor, you've done really well not swearing as much, but that has kind of fell off the last week. My bad. I'll try to get better. On OBS, if you click on scale filtering, it might reduce the noise. What do I do? Point? That's worse. That made it worse. Bilinear? Is that better? I think that might have fixed it. I think scale filtering bilinear fixed it. There you go.
In protest against the AfD. Whatever the results of this election, it's unlikely to bring an end to the current political division across the country. God damn, we did so much fucking German news today. Holy shit.